My name is Evan Harrington.
It's Buffalo Pepsi. You want to try some? Look at them. Buffalo Pepsi. Look at them. There's different flavors.
The biggest Jags fan of all time, Justin Bachman.
If you're not sweeping, you're doing it wrong.
To be biased, but Duval. I'm your host, Frank the Tank Lopez. I'm ready to fight a kid if it happens. If one kid says one dumb thing tomorrow about Baker Mayfield or anything, I'm punching a kid. Boom!
Mr. Brotherly Love here, Chris Giacobello. I know how to turn the mics on, Dan.
That's a good thing to know.
We got it. Progress.
I'm the first lady of the Blitz, Emma Nosby.
Was it 14? Yes, Emma.
Anquan Bolden.
Anquan Bolden is a wide receiver.
No.
My name's Dan Dale, a.k.a. Double D.
You're quiet. I can barely hear you.
Why am I quiet? Why am I quiet?
Dan, you're quiet.
How am I ever quiet?
Here is The Blitz on 91.3 FM.
Live here from Buffalo State University.
Welcome into the Blitz on 91.3 FM WBNY Buffalo. Buffalo's original alternative since 1982, brought to you by Buffalo State Student Activities Fee. My name is Dan Dale, also known as Double D. Haven't said that in a while. Long time, actually. I think, 4 weeks, 5 weeks now? Maybe a whole month? Crazy. Had work. Did some GR with Zach Jones. Big up Zach Jones. Love Zach Jones. With Chopin Bulldog. Then I got my wisdom teeth out. So I've had a crazy month. Like, I was in pain all last week. I was really planning. Before I got my wisdom teeth out on Monday last week, I was like, oh yeah, I'll be fine to go on the show. Yeah, no big deal. No, not at all. Wednesday comes, my face, my mouth, everything, pain. Just, I don't wish that kind of pain on my enemies. That's how bad it was. That's how disgustingly bad it was. And it's not like my teeth helped. My wisdom teeth did not help. They were not the best wisdom teeth in the world. So I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back because you know what? I learned that at the end of the day, if I ever leave this radio station, I could do the sideways worm and get somehow into the Olympics. It works. Breakdancing works. You just go on the ground and do a little sideways worm. Did you not see that? I got an intro, you guys, but first up with me in Studio A, Alex Miley.
Here.
And then in Studio B by himself, Joey Cheese.
Yeah.
I was not here with the creation of this nickname. So it is new to me, Joey Cheese. But yeah, did you guys not see the Australian breakdancer Raygun? What a perfect name. First off, Raygun. You already get all the sci-fi nerds. Like, there you go.
Well, I know Raygun from Call of Duty.
Okay, yep. And then, the most famous thing I see is her hopping around like a kangaroo in part of her... Like, what? Like, I already had questions about breakdancing in the Olympics, or breaking, whatever they wanted to call it. But when I see a fully grown woman go out there, jump up and down like a kangaroo, and then do a sideways worm, and basically she just went on the ground, and she basically was stretched out, folded in, flipped to the other side, folded out, and then did the same thing the other way. Highly recommend if you have time to watch that. Highly recommend. I was laughing for 2 minutes of just, what is this? The rest of the breakdancing, I didn't see nothing. So I was like, okay, so that must just be the odd one out. So does Australia know what breakdancing is? And I think we can officially say, no, they don't know. They need to be reintroduced to that genre of dance. They don't know nothing there in Australia.
Well, it's been reported that it's not coming back to 2028. And then the fact that it's
God.
it's in Australia in 2032, I doubt it's going to be there for that one.
No, I really think it is now. I really think it is.
Or maybe they bring it back just so they can prove everyone wrong. But it's already not going to be back for 2028, which is good because that's not a sport. It's just dancing isn't really a sport.
Oh, you just opened up your...
Okay, breakdancing. My bad. Breakdancing.
I'm not saying that it isn't because I do kind of agree with you, but I'm not going to publicly say that.
Okay, my bad. Breakdancing isn't a sport. Yeah, the competitive dancing, like ballet and stuff. All right, I can see that. But breakdancing, no, that's not...
Like people just in a circle
It's just rolling
together,
around basically on the floor. I mean, obviously there's techniques and stuff I don't understand, but it is not a sport.
How do you even get to the point to become a judge for that?
Yeah. Oh, the way he rolled on the ground, or he high-fived him while doing a front flip. That's so cool. I'm gonna give it a 10.
I don't think I think that quite literally is the definition of an entry-level job. All you need is a high school degree. I think that is every job nowadays is like, oh, maybe you need a degree somewhere, maybe you need something. Breakdancing judge? Nah, you can do it right out of high school. Yeah, we don't know any better either.
Yeah. Oh, does that look cool to you or not?
Yeah, like whoop-de-doo.
It's kind of like judging the dunk contest. Does it look cool to you or not?
Right. Or like surfing, but surfing is more technique-wise.
Yeah.
I do commend surfers because I know I have bad balance. Like, I don't think I would be able, I think I know I wouldn't be able to do that just on my own.
Oh. Looks like we got a caller. Probably Frank or Emma would be my guess. But I'm glad. I'm not surprised breakdancing is not coming back, especially since they needed to make room for baseball and softball, which definitely would much rather watch baseball and softball. Hopefully, the U.S. actually sends their pro players this year instead of in 2021 where we just sent a bunch of college players, because I would much rather see players like Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt Jr. and Mookie Betts just dominate the world stage instead of whoever they pull out of college. Like,
no, you come on, you would rather see somebody tumble than Aaron Judge.
I would much not. We're talking about the reason why breakdancing is going away. I said to make room for baseball, and I said
it's a couple ones. It's a couple.
Yeah,
it's
but I'm saying I'm hoping the U.S. actually sends like their pro players instead of sending the college kids.
No, I agree.
I would much rather see players like Aaron Judge, Bobby Witt Jr., and Mookie Betts hitting 400-yard nukes than some college kids who I've never heard of before.
Well, no, that's kind of like the same thing with the NHL. I mean, that debate's always going of, will they send?
I think next time. I think they are in 2026.
Supposedly they are, but just like the NHL, they're not to be trusted. I don't trust them in any way, shape, or form.
I just don't understand why they wouldn't. That's a great way to grow the game.
Oh, it is.
Especially in the NHL, which has been growing better over the last couple years. But they went through like a 5-year stretch where they were either not really making much money or like losing money, like some teams, and like with COVID, and just they're definitely the smallest out of the 4 sports. But I think the last like 2 years, I feel like it's been growing a lot more. But the Olympics is the perfect way on the national stage for the average person to, like, there's sports I watched for the Olympics this year that I would never watch ever. And then maybe there's a player you fall in love with, and, I'm going to keep track of that sport now because of that player. Like,
I have 2 words to that statement of, like, why you wouldn't do it. Gary Bettman.
Well,
it's
yes.
Gary Bettman.
I mean,
that's it.
Gary Bettman is an idiot, which does scare me because Rob Manfred, I don't know if he's any better. So you're right. And because also baseball, even though baseball makes like a lot of money, they're not as popular as basketball or football. They actually make as much money as basketball, but I think that's just because their season's longer. They generate more money from like ticket sales and all that, just because it's 162 games versus 82 games. But like pure viewership wise, basketball is definitely bigger, and it's an Olympic sport, which has ever since we sent our pro players in 92. The game has just skyrocketed, like, internationally. I mean, I understand baseball is already pretty big internationally, but it's not as big in the U.S. And I think if we go to the Olympics and go win gold, I think it'll bring back some more hype in the U.S. and that we haven't had in a while for baseball.
I do have to intro a guy who does really like hockey. So much so that he's in the state where the Stanley Cup is. Or, well, maybe a replica, but yeah, or maybe some players got it down there. Hi, Frank from Florida.
Boys, let me tell you right now, the Sunshine State is absolutely beaming right now. The positivity of the Florida Panthers winning the Stanley Cup is not diminished at all. It's going. The party's still happening.
I mean, it's got to be perfect for golf season down there.
Oh, my God. Listen, I went home to Westchester for a little bit, played some golf there, and then extended my vacation because I can and I will. And I was like, you know what, let's take a quick little trip down to Florida. Let's go see some of the fam. And playing golf in Florida is a whole different experience, and I love life.
Yeah, I can't wait to play some golf down in Florida. I'm going to Houston in October for the Bills game, and we just found out that where I booked the Airbnb is walking distance from a golf course. So me and one of my friends are bringing our clubs with us, and we're going to go golfing there, and I'm excited for that because it's probably much nicer to go golfing in Houston than it is here where it's winter, that kind of
No, not by any means. Come on, where's that trick-or-treat Buffalo golf game? Come on.
I mean, I do my fair share of golfing in Buffalo, but I only go to like the same course every time because they have a Groupon deal where I can go golf 18 holes for $23.
Oh, there you go.
So I just go there every time. It's so much cheaper.
Frank, I didn't know you were such a golf swing guy. You know, a golf guy rather, not golf swing. I've seen your golf swing. I know you posted it on, I think, Snapchat one day or something.
Thought you were going to call him a swinger.
Whoa. All right.
All right, Joey Cheese. That's crazy.
Well, he said a swinging golf guy, you know?
No, I'm a big golfer. I was a varsity golfer in high school.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
This is something I didn't know in our,
Me neither.
2 years of friendship. How dare you keep this from me?
I think I said it. I definitely said it when we talked about
I completely
our high school
don't
sports.
remember and will die on a hill that you never said this.
We'll go back. But no, varsity golfer in high school. Lost my season to COVID. And then just kind of kept playing recreationally. But since I've been in Buffalo, I haven't really had time or, found a place to bring my clubs up or found the right time. But now that I'm back home, my God, it reignited that fire that I had for golf. It makes me so angry. I was already in an angry mood, but then once I went on the course, I was like, oh, I'm going to clear my head. Everything's going to be fine. And then I missed a really, 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 really good putt. The greens were reading well. And then, of course, 6 feet out, I bank it off, and I'm like, I'm going to go home and cry. But I didn't. I three-putted, and then I went back and birdied, and I was like, all right, I'm back on this.
I was golfing with my friend, I think it was Sunday, or maybe it was the time before when I was golfing with him. He had 4 birdie putts slip out.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad for him. That's pretty rough.
Hurts.
Yeah.
Inside.
He just sent me a scorecard the other day. He finally was a scratch golfer
for
once,
go.
so he felt pretty. I'm like, good for you. That's way better than I'll ever do, or at least for the time being will do, because I'm not nowhere close to that.
Trust me, I have become a golf simulator guy.
I want to try one out sometime.
I've done 2 golf simulators, both at the same place. Great time. Great system. If you guys want to try it one day, once you're back up,
Or we go out in the actual, hit a course up in Buffalo or something.
I'm not good enough to do that.
I'm pretty bad also.
Look,
it's just fun.
Look, there isn't bad until you see me bad. Course.
Trust me, I've seen it.
The cart girl comes around, you get a few little brewskis, maybe a few Nooners and some White Claws, and once you're out there, you don't really care. The only time that you do care about being bad is when there's a group behind you, and you just gotta let them go through.
I always care about being bad because I'm impatient, and then when I hit a bad, I actually broke a club on Sunday.
Oh.
I didn't. Threw it against the ground. I didn't think it was that weak, and it
just
snapped in half, and I'm like, oh well, that's a first.
Too strong for your own good.
Yeah, it wasn't a club that I use too often. It wasn't a super important club.
It
wasn't like it was my driver, but
straight up man took his putter, snapped it in half. I see so many.
It was my 4-wood.
4-wood. That's a nice club.
I don't. It was an old beat up one that I got when I bought an old beat up set a while ago. But I don't use it too often now. I've been using my irons much more instead. So it's not a super big deal.
I know when I did the golf simulator, I did it with Tanner, Harrington, and Joe. I can actually call Harrington Evan. I always forget to do that. I feel bad for not calling him Evan, but I got too used to calling him Harrington. But I digress. I quite literally learned that Joe Cali, not Joey Cheese over there, but he only uses irons. He found a steel at a garage sale, and I think they were $20-$30 for everything. He's got everything 2 down.
Darn.
He just doesn't have a driver.
You can probably find a cheap. Just go on Facebook Marketplace. You can probably find a driver.
Yeah, you can find a cheap driver.
That man is on Facebook Marketplace all the time, so I am shocked he hasn't.
Yeah,
or at least a hybrid. So you get something nice off the tee box.
Harrington's got good clubs. Harrington's got very nice clubs. He's got his own. Very, very impressive.
I've put together a pretty decent set because my friend bought a whole new set when he won a bunch of money at the casino. So I bought his old iron set off of him for a really good deal. Then I got a nice driver free from work. I got a nice putter off a friend who got a new one for Christmas, and then my wedge, my 56 degree, I bought that brand new. So I've put together a bunch of decent clubs. It's nothing too crazy, but it's probably worth I'd say $500-$600. And then then I probably have a $200 Bills golf bag, which I got for my birthday, which is absolutely fire. It's got a nice cooler in it. It's pretty cool.
I'm in if you guys go.
All right.
That works.
I haven't golfed in a while, but I'll hit them.
It's always a fun time.
It's funny. We were talking. Frank, you saw the Australian breakdancer, right?
Oh, Raygun?
Yeah, Raygun. Don't we love Raygun? So supposedly, this is a tweet I just found on X. I don't know if this is true or not, but supposedly that Raygun manipulated the qualifier by setting up her own governing body, denying grants to underprivileged performers, and allowing her husband to coach the national team. Australians have started a petition demanding an investigation and an apology. It's gained over 13,000 signatures.
Apparently the husband was also one of the judges that sent her through.
Oh! Bias, anybody?
I've been on top of the Raygun situation.
Oh, have you? Is this
since Australia started this one-sided beef with us.
That is true,
anytime
they did.
That they lose, I celebrate. And they had the world's biggest blunder on the world's biggest stage. Of course I'm going to look into it and be like, oh, these losers going to keep talking to us, and they sent Raygun over. And then you find out how corrupt it is, and I'm like, good luck.
I didn't know about
Australia. That. Here's a question for you, Frank. Which country do you hate more, Australia or Canada?
Oh, I think I can answer this for Frank. I 100%.
It is Canada.
Yeah.
Good.
I straight up knew Canada.
Screw Canada.
But also, they did give me Ryan Reynolds, but also Australia did give me Hugh Jackman, so I'm a little torn.
They also gave you Sam Reinhart.
Yeah, they gave you half your hockey team.
Oh, they did give me Rhino.
Yeah. Well, they first gave him to us, and we decided to give him to you because we're the Sabres and we're dysfunctional.
Thank you.
Oh, how he says.
Guys, it's been so fun. Being a Panthers fan now here I've now been able to wear my brand new Kachuk and Barkov Stanley Cup jerseys, and the amount of Let's Go Cats I've gotten. I don't care if they're bandwagon. I don't care if they started 6 months ago, 2 months ago, 10 years ago when they were born. It is so refreshing to actually be able to wear something Panthers and actually someone acknowledge it, unless I'm wearing a Dolphins or a Canes jersey.
Ew, why would you wear a Dolphins jersey?
It's South Florida.
Yeah, but still, I could live in South Florida and you would never catch me wearing a Dolphin. I hate them.
Well,
they're my least favorite team.
Well, that's because you lived up
Well,
here.
I also think they have the worst fan base in all of sports. So
your opinion does not matter in South Florida.
You haven't run into Wander Franco, have you?
Oh, jeez.
I think he's a little too old for that.
Oh God! Not
but that
when
actually
Frank's
was a good segue
here.
for what
Not when Frank's here.
That was a good segue.
No,
I was
gonna. Not a good segue.
No, Let me explain.
We are not doing that.
No,
we are not doing that.
I'm not bringing him up anymore. I was going to talk about the Rays.
Baseball. Not perfect segue. Not perfect segue.
No, let me tell me.
I was just going to say, since the Panthers won the Cup, you don't have to worry about the Rays being bad this year because you're riding the high of the.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be.
No, I just wanted to say that.
Switch over. I was like, no.
I know that's coming up later. I don't think yet. I think he's been in.
He left. He had to leave the country.
Well, I think he was already out of the country.
Nobody knows where he is.
Yeah,
Wander?
Yeah, Wander.
Oh God, dang it! Listen, I'm not happy.
Man went from I'm happy to I'm not happy.
No, because it's
about the money.
Listen, the money, the fact that the Rays finally spent money, because we all know the story of the Rays being bottom barrel.
Oh, yeah, very cheap.
We take the scraps off anything. We're not going to pay anyone. That's why we lost Longos, because we didn't want to pay him. That's how we lost David Price, because we didn't want to pay him. Traded Chris Archer away, because we didn't see any value in him, which also, fine. I guess
the Archer one worked out pretty good. They got, Glass now and who else?
Glass now, Austin Meadows, who was good for 2 seasons. And then we shipped him off to Detroit and got a good package off that.
Yeah.
But no, finally I have my franchise player. And
who would that be?
Let's just say he's not like us.
I'm very
That's a Drake reference.
Yeah, well, he's still talking about Wander Franco.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
I was like, you lost me there.
Well, who is your franchise player now? Yandy?
Yandy or
are you going to wait for Caminero to come up?
Caminero did get called up. He went 1 for 4. It's fine. We lost to the Astros. Doesn't matter.
I'm surprised that they didn't call him up until next year, though, because then he could have won Rookie of the Year. But I saw something that if he plays the rest of the year, he's like 10 days over service time to be able to win it next year.
All right. I don't know if he reached that threshold where if he could.
I think I saw a video on it 2 days ago.
That's why when the Yankees called up
Dominguez.
Jason Dominguez, and he started off really hot. If he would have stayed healthy and would have been on the starting roster, he would have still been technically in his rookie year, because you reach a certain threshold of amount of games played.
Yeah.
Where if you call a certain player up, they're still technically a rookie.
I mean, that's the reason why Dominguez hasn't been called back up yet, and they're just going to keep him in AAA, is because I think if they call him up now, then he'd become a free agent after the 29 season. But if they call him up either maybe in September once the minor league season ends or next year, I think he won't become a free agent until 2030, so they have another year of control under him.
All right.
It's with the minor league system and like prospects and stuff, it's so confusing and there's so much that goes into it. It's not just who's playing the best. There's so many different ways to manipulate the system. Like Luis Gil, I think, made his debut in 2021 and he's in the Rookie of the Year race. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Or Randy Arozarena was in the Rookie of the Year race.
Yeah.
What was it, like last year or 2 years ago, his third year up after being like amazing in back-to-back playoffs? Like,
he had the amazing playoff run in 2020, set the home run record for the American League in postseason, and then was a rookie the next season.
I thought it was the year after that he was also a rookie. I thought it was like 2021. I think he was like a rookie that maybe got like injured or something, and then 2022 he was a rookie again.
He might have. All I know is that Wander would have been. God. I'm supposed to be in prosperity right now. I'm supposed to be living it up.
You have the Panthers, though, at least.
I do.
Yeah, it's not like you're a Sabres fan.
Yeah, at least I got something.
You got Baker Mayfield, man.
I do have Baker. Thank you, Joey Cheese. I have Baker.
Yeah, man, Baker.
Yeah, you have Baker.
The touchdown maker.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but he doesn't have Josh Allen.
Why'd you say it like that? Why'd you say it like that?
Because he's not Josh Allen.
You're right. Because Josh Allen's not Baker Mayfield. No one will ever be Baker Mayfield.
That is very true.
Yeah, I mean, and no one will ever be Josh Allen. He's a god.
I'm sorry. There's no one called Baby Baker. There's no one called Baby Josh Allen, but we do have a Baby Baker.
Yeah,
that creates the legacy.
Yeah, but how good does Baker Mayfield look in shorts?
Well, Baker looks good in anything.
Yeah, but
birthday suit, regular suit. I mean,
wait a minute.
Birthday suit. Oh, man. Has he seen him in a birthday suit? How does he know?
Now I'm a little concerned.
Confirm nor deny. That's all I'll say.
Baker partying a little too much at the bars down there after a game sometime?
Listen, you take her to Giggle Waters right after? My God. It was crazy.
I'm so very confused by this conversation.
This conversation turned weird quickly.
You know, we can go to MLB now. Because
we already were kind of bringing it up. Yeah, I mean, it kind of got brought in, so it makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. You know, Yankees back on top where they should be.
Yeah, the AL or the AL MVP race quietly going down is maybe one of the greatest ever. Literally, whoever doesn't win between Aaron Judge or Bobby Witt Jr. will probably have the greatest non-MVP season of all time. They're both on pace for over 11 more. Yeah. And then you have Juan Soto having a career year. He already has more. This is already his highest career WAR season. And he has no chance of winning the MVP.
No, he's just out of it.
But I think 2019 or
having the greatest batting season in history.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to have I'm having for myself a career year.
Yeah.
And then you have Aaron Judge on the other side and be like, I'm just having an MLB fantastic, amazing year.
Yeah, and then you have Bobby. Yeah. And then you have Bobby Witt batting .350 with being the best defensive shortstop in the league and also being incredible on the base pass. And then you can't forget about Gunnar Henderson, who's also been quite good, and Jose Ramirez. Like, basically anyone in the top 5 of the AL MVP would be walking away with it in the NL, and only one person gets in the AL. No. It's kind of crazy.
I do feel bad for J-Ram, though, because I feel like he's always in it. He's always at the end.
J-Ram is always there, and you're like, come on, you can do it. And then it's like,
no. And then it's like, someone has a fantastic year, and it's like just.
Or there's just a guy named Shohei Ohtani,
or Aaron Judge. That's what it's been. What 2020 was Shohei, 2021 was Shohei, 2022 was Judge, 2023 Shohei, 2024 is probably going to be Judge, and then next year I wouldn't be surprised if Judge wins it again because I didn't think
I'm not going to say anything.
I didn't think he could top the 2022 season. And other than home runs, he's better in every other statistical category. Because now that they have someone like Juan Soto batting in front of him, and like Austin Wells being so good behind him, and Giancarlo Stanton, when he's been healthy, has been pretty good. Like, you can't, like last year, if you walk Judge every single at bat or just don't give him pitches to hit, you're going to be fine because no one else could hit. So he would start chasing to try and do something. This year, you can't really just give him free passes as much. I mean, they try, but. Because there's other players on the team that can actually do some damage, so they actually have to pitch to him, and he's just punishing them.
No, he is becoming like the modern-day Barry Bonds, where you just saw him get walked all the time.
Yeah.
No team wants to deal with him, and then if you let him hit, he hits a bomb.
If you look at the WRC Plus, Judge's actually this year is higher than one of Barry Bonds' that four-year run. I mean, the top 3 are it was 230 something But then it was I think it was maybe 2002 or whatever. He only had a 217 or whatever. Judge is at a 220. And then in 5th place is Judge in 2022. He's having the greatest non-steroid hitting prime ever. It just doesn't make any sense.
No, you can't disagree with that when you got the numbers right there.
Because you can say, he's a power hitter, but he's not just a power hitter. He also, it's not like he's batting 220 with 40 home runs. He's batting 330. He hasn't hit a home run in a couple of games, and he's still getting on base 3 to 4 times a game because he's getting a couple singles, maybe an RBI double. He's getting walked twice a game. It just.
That's the thing. The people that say that, he's just a power hitter, I'm convinced they just, because I hate the Yankees, but I'll watch. Because I love baseball, I'll watch anything.
Yeah.
Watching Aaron Judge at plate is one of the scariest yet most imagined things I've ever seen in my life. He's not just a power hitter. Yeah. He's also a great contact hitter, and he's fantastic putting the ball in play.
Yeah. Judge and Soto, the Yankees just got to give Soto, just give him a check and let him fill it in. Whatever he wants, just don't think twice about it. Just give it to him because he's only 24 years old. And then having Judge Soto for the next 5 years is going to be absolutely insane because then Judge will eventually start to fall off. But then you're going to have someone like Jason Dominguez who, if he plays like he did when he was called up last year, those 3 right in a row, that could be like a modern day murderer's row.
I mean, it is just scary to think of the thought of the team that could let you down, because you know they can be so good, but you know at the end of the day it doesn't matter until they get to that World Series and win it, and it's like you just know it could be one of the greatest teams to let you down.
I have 2 words for that: Brian Cashman. He sucks. I just can't wait for the day.
Awful.
I've literally texted my friends. I will legitimately throw a party the day he gets fired.
He's here and there. It depends on the day for me. I know he's bad, but like some days, one day he'll do something that will actually be like, okay.
Well, the thing is, he's got unlimited money and resources to be able to go out and do whatever it needs to do to build a winning team. And then, like at the trade deadline this year, we had a lot of good prospects we could have traded. Like this year to go all in. I love the Jazz trade, but then we go and get 2 relievers that I have over a 4-year ERA. Like I get Mark Leiter, like his underlying numbers are really good, his strikeout numbers are really good. But then the De Los Santos guy we got from the Padres was just straight up bad, and then he just allowed 7 runs in 2 innings to the White Sox. And then you get nothing else. You don't get Jack Flaherty when they gave up the Dodgers gave up like their 8th and their 22nd ranked prospect. You couldn't beat that.
I was going to say the fact that the Yankees, I don't even know if they were involved, but if they weren't involved in any way getting Jack Flaherty from the Cardinals, that's disgraceful.
No, they were involved.
They were.
They backed out because they were scared because of his back injury.
I mean,
the thing is though, it's not like the Dodgers had to give up. I understand if like the Tigers are asking for like a Spencer Jones or like a Ben Rice, and then you're scared of the back injuries, you're not giving up someone for that. But like if you give up like Will Warren and then like some random other prospect to throw in, why? Like you should be able to do that and then be fine, because you have to be able to go all in. Like at some point you can't just hold on to these. I understand you're not trading like a Jason Dominguez, or you're only trading like a Spencer Jones for like a legitimate superstar. Like I get you can't be reckless, but at the same time,
why does this feel like the same? I know I'm gonna make it about hockey, but why does this feel like the same thing that I've been saying about Kevin Adams? Like at some point you gotta make a move and let people go, and they just won't, and they just stick with them till.
I mean, other than the Savoy for McLeod trade, but even then, it's like you thought you would have been able to get someone a little bit better. I mean, I liked the move, but you finally let someone go, and it's for a good third-line center.
No, I mean, I think you can kind of compare the two and just be like, I'm pissed.
The thing about Cashman is like there's no salary cap, and the Yankees just they can spend $300 million a year, and they can go get all these free agents.
It depends on the owner.
Okay, but with Hailstorm, he's fine with spending $250, $300 million every single year. So it's like he has this money to be able to go out and do it.
Do you know that for sure?
He does it. He could be like.
Are you calling him like every week, getting the update that he's okay?
I'm thinking the fact that he still signs the checks every year, because it really comes down to him. If he's like, no, you do not sign this guy, he can tell Cashman, you better get under this number or you're fired. Like he has the power to do that, and he lets it happen. So he has to be fine with it on some degree. I mean, obviously he's doing it for the hopes of winning a championship. So the fact that we aren't winning a championship, he's probably getting a little fed up with spending this much money to fall short every year. But nonetheless, he is still spending that much money every single year. And we're still...
I mean, really, if I'm an owner, I'm ticked at Oakland and the White Sox and stuff. Because remember, their whole thing is revenue sharing. So they throw everything into the pocket. So as an owner, I mean... I can be happy with like, oh, money, here you go, Cashman, you're allowed to do this much. You're allowed to, go to this venture. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, he does say like, if he doesn't think it will work for the team, if he doesn't think he can promote him, I mean, that's a big thing that goes into it now. I mean, remember, this isn't just a team anymore. This is a whole business expense. Yeah. So I'm not trying to defend Cashman. I'm far from it, but I'm just trying to be like, there are other outliers that are like, hey, and some teams don't want to risk the injury. I mean, in my opinion, I like Flaherty, but like, if his back problems are too much and you just believe your doctor knows better and you believe that your doctor is correct, you go with your doctor. Okay. That's what you pay him for.
That is as much as I don't know how much I agree, how much I trust the Yankees doctors, but okay, I get the point.
Right.
Then why aren't we getting okay, then maybe we don't get him. Go and give up prospects to go and get Tanner Scott from the Marlins. We needed a closer. Clay Holmes is not a closer. I think he's a very good 8th inning setup guy.
Yeah.
He is not a closer. Our bullpen still doesn't have a closer, and it's not like we have someone who's on the IL. We're just waiting for him to come back. We have like some good arms on the IL that could come, like Scott Efros.
Yeah.
Marinacho's down in AAA. We have some good arms. We have a lot of like guys who can pitch in like the 7th and 8th inning. We do not have a lights out closer. Tanner Scott was that, and we let him go to the Padres. We could have given up more than one of the Padres.
The Padres love giving up things though. Like just look at the Padres. The Padres give something up.
Then beat them. At some point, you have to overpay a little bit to go and get the World Series.
But they have been overpaying. I mean, you can't say here and there they have overpaid.
I mean, it's not like you can say they overpaid for Soto. It's not like you can say they overpaid for Verdugo. It's not like you can say they overpaid for Jazz. They didn't really have to give up overly too much. At some point, if you really want it, you just got to go and get them.
I mean, who knows? I really think they were on Mason Miller till he got hurt. Then once he got hurt, it kind of just broke up the plans, and they said, let's not touch it.
Okay, but then it's like, okay. But you would have had to give up way more for Mason Miller than Tanner Scott. So it's like, okay, we give up this.
No, not with Oakland. No, Oakland doesn't want a star player.
No, Oakland was. There was reports that they were asking for like a crazy return, where it would have had to been like we give up like Spencer Jones, probably like Chase Hampton, and then maybe even like another top 10 prospect. Like it would have been a loaded package to give up for Miller because he's under control for like years.
Oh, he is, yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, you don't have to give up nearly that much for Tanner Scott because he's much older and there's not as much control and he's not as good. So it's like, why can't you pivot and then you go and make, okay, Oakland, that falls through. That it wasn't like the day of the trade deadline that fell through. No. That happened like a week before. You still have a week to go and build a package, call up the Marlins, be like, okay, and then you build something there. But to not do that and then go and get a decent arm and later and then just a bad arm in DeSantos or whatever his name is. I don't remember. I just know he's awful.
I mean, it could have been that they were trying to package him with Jazz and they just wouldn't do it and they wouldn't listen after because whatever the Yankees gave up, Marlins lost interest because you already gave it up for Jazz.
Okay, what about and then maybe that happens. Then you pivot to the Rays.
To do the overpay.
But then you pivot to the Rays. They had Fairbanks. We had talks with the Rays to go get Fairbanks.
Rays aren't gonna do. I mean, as much as I love in division trades, they happen so rare, and when they do happen, it doesn't feel good.
We just traded for Verdugo with the Red Sox, and the Red Sox would be less willing to trade with the Yankees than the Rays were because they are much bigger rivals.
I'm not saying it's impossible. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying at the end of the day, teams don't like to make teams better. And I think there's a more now push to the Rays for the future than there is to the Yankees. But the Yankees still have a good prospect pool, but they're not as much about the future. They're about now. So I think in the sense, if you're going to give up for something for Fairbanks, you have to give something up for the future, and you know their future is going to be good, so why help them out?
Because if you win a World Series, who cares? Do you think the Cubs cared that they had to give up Gleyber Torres to get a half a year of Aroldis Chapman? No, because they went and won the World Series.
I just think it depends on how you.
If you win a World Series, it does not matter what you do. If you get a chip,
but do you really think this team can do it with the problems it has?
Yes.
I mean, maybe that's what Cashman's worried about too. He knows he can get there.
I think
he's not sure.
Three. I trust. I think we have three good starters right now. I trust with the way Rodon's pitching. Luis Gil's been good all year, and then Garrett Cole's Garrett Cole. We have three good starters. I think we got to see when Clark Schmidt comes back. I think he can be a good fourth guy. You put Stroman and Nestor as long relievers, as like maybe one of our starters through 3 innings has allowed like 3 runs and a couple runners on, and it's like, all right, there's a super short leaf in the playoffs. We throw Cortez in to get us to like the 6th or the 7th. Then we put in like a lighter, then a Clay Holmes to get us through the 8th. In the 9th inning, it's a 5-4 game. If we had someone like a Fairbanks or a Tanner Scott, throw them in, we win that game. I really think we just need a closer because in the playoffs, bullpen's extremely important. And the fact that we don't have a closer.
I mean, maybe just at the end of the day, it could just be they trust Clay Holmes. I mean, Holmes was good before he fell into the stink where he's just been
9 blown saves.
Yeah, 9 blown saves.
I really trust the guy who has the most blown saves in the MLB to save a game for us in the playoffs. Like, if they really trust Clay Holmes to be their closer, then they are complete idiots. I love Clay Holmes.
You
Clay
work
Holmes
with your in-house guys. I mean, that's how most teams go sometimes. Just, we know what this guy can do. We know how we can get him back.
Can do, and we know he is not a good closer. He has never shown to be a good closer.
It doesn't matter how you feel. It matters if you think you can get him out of the stink with him working with him and getting him to that point. Because, like you say, it doesn't really matter till you get to the playoffs. We already know their spot in the playoffs is locked. It is dependent.
The thing is, you can be like, oh, maybe it's just like a one-time thing. Clay Holmes is never shown to be a good closer. He's shown to be a good eighth-inning guy. But even when he's not, like in April, he didn't allow a run in April. He was still allowing. It's Cardiac Clay for a reason. He still allows a lot of base runners. And in the playoffs, that's just it's just too much. Where I don't want that. That's not a closer though. A closer is a guy that gets a lot of strikeouts and has a super low ERA. And it's like you get into the ninth inning. Okay, we're winning this game. We get into the ninth inning with Clay Holmes. It's like I hope we win this game. It's not. Obviously. I'm not expecting anyone we get to Mariano Rivera, but when we had Mariano Rivera, it's like, okay, we win. Even before Chapman fell apart, when we had Chapman in the ninth, all right, we win. Or Andrew Miller in the ninth, we win. Dylan Betances, like, we've always had really good bullpens and really good closers, and in the playoffs, I mean, think about it, the Royals, when they won in, 2016 or whatever, they didn't have a bunch of star. Yeah, they didn't have a bunch of star talent, but they had probably the best eighth inning guy and the best ninth inning guy in baseball. It was Wade Davis and I think Craig Kimbrell at the time. Yeah. Basically, if they're winning after 7 innings, they won the game, and they won a World Series off that. Which a bunch of good, decent players and an elite bullpen. The San Francisco Giants have done it before when they've went on their runs. Like bullpens help carry so much in the playoffs, and the bullpen right now is just not looking that good. We do not have a good closer.
So, Alex, I mean, if you can trust a guy in the 8th inning, but you can't trust him in the 9th, is it a mental thing? When he gets in there in the 9th?
I think it is, because when we first traded for him in 2021, that we still had Aroldis Chapman. It was the rest of that year and then the next year. And when he was the 8th inning guy, he was absolutely great. He had like a 2 ERA. He had like less than a 2.5. He was electric for us. But then last year they moved him to the closer when Chapman left, and he has just not been as good. I think it might just, because you're right.
Guys melt out. It's
the same thing, but I don't think he can handle the pressure.
Yeah.
He's shown.
Also, baseball is like 70% mental, because you could be the best pitcher, you could be the best hitter in the world, but if you don't feel like it, but if you mentally just don't think you are right there in that moment, you're not. You're going to break down. And you're going to go cold. And that's what really baseball is like, majority is just mental.
Exactly. And I think with Clay Holmes, he allows too many base runners. That in the 8th inning, there's a little less pressure where, okay, he allows a walk and a single, 1 out, runners on first and second. Where it's the 8th inning, there's a little less pressure if, I allow a run. In the 9th inning, though, there's more pressure if you allow 2 guys on versus the 8th. So I think he gets out of it better in the 8th inning than the 9th. And that's the difference. And I
agree.
Yeah. So
the Yankees lineup, they can go cold. There's always going to be one player that's going to ignite that entire lineup. That is the Yankees' problem.
Last night we scored 4 runs, and it was off Soto having 3 home runs. And then, did you see, I think it was in the 9th inning when he was up, he swung at a pitch literally like 3-4 inches off the plate because he was a 3-0 count, and he just wanted a home run that bad.
Yeah.
And then the next one,
and he knew it.
Yeah, the next pitch he just couldn't hit because it was about to hit him. Whoever that pitcher is, I hate you for not giving him a legitimate pitch to hit. I hate you for that. But like the Yankees' offense, I'm not worried about. We have the most runs scored in the league by actually no, second most behind Arizona. Because Arizona's offense has been, but
Arizona's been insane. Recently.
Yeah, they're at 6. Yeah. They're at 633. We're at 620. Like our offense is fine because when in doubt, we do have Judge and Soto. And Austin Wells, since like June 1st, has been playing like the best catcher in baseball. Anthony Volpe, since the All-Star break's been good. Stanton's finally getting back into the swing of things. Verdugo's playing better since he's been moved to cleanup. Jazz, let's hope he returns by playoff time. I'm scared about that. I don't know.
That it's a UCL thing and that he's most likely out.
Well, he just got put on the IL because we called up Oswaldo Peraza. But yeah, it's a UCL, but I don't know if it's a torn UCL, strained UCL, if there's just a little like cleanup that needs to be. I don't know how bad the injury is. So I'm hoping for the best. Maybe he can be back by playoff time. But I still like Torres. Even though he's had kind of a down year, he's still at least a decent bat. I think they have enough. They have enough on the offensive side, and I think they have 3 good starting pitchers. And then if Clark comes back and pitches like he did before he got injured, our starting pitching's fine. It's just that bullpen is a major question right now, and I think if we had a closer, it shored up that bullpen, and then I'm like, yes, we are a legitimate World Series contender. But I mean, I think we do have the best record in baseball right now, even with all these questions.
I think we're only behind the Guardians.
Yeah, half a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're half a game behind them in the loss column, and hopefully we do have the White Sox tonight, which we should beat. But after what happened 2 days ago, not a guarantee. But
also, in my opinion, people are blowing that loss way out of proportion.
Yeah, we had like 20 base runners that game.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate hitting. You guys had runners in scoring position the entire game. It was just not a good night. It's fine. That happens in baseball all the time.
Yeah, we had 11 walks and 9 hits, and we only managed to score 2 runs. It's like that's the second time in like Yankees history where they've had 20 base runners and scored 2 runs or less. The last time it happened was 1913. And then that the De Los Santos or whatever allowed 7 runs and 2 innings. Like I think at that point it was like they just didn't take him out because they knew the game was kind of over, so they just let him pitch through it. But yeah, he's
I know
really
probably mentally as fans, it's not great seeing your team, get blown out by the White Sox, who will now probably be the historically worst team in baseball.
Yeah.
But it's one singular game. You guys are still in first in the AL East. People are blowing that loss way out of proportion. That was making me angry, is the fact that the people were reacting to it like that.
This is the Yankees' schedule the rest of August. It's insanely easy. They have one more game against the White Sox, then a series against the Tigers. Then they have the Guardians. That's going to be a good one. But then Rockies, Nationals, and Cardinals to finish out August.
Where's the Guardians?
Wonderful.
Yeah, and then in September, I don't think it gets too much tougher. I mean, they have the Rangers, the Cubs, the Royals, the Red Sox, the Mariners, the Athletics, the Orioles, and the Pirates. So basically they have the big 6 games are we have a set against the Guardians, and at the end of the year we have a set against the Orioles. So we need to at least win both of those series, and I like our odds to be able to come out with the 1 seed. And then
also, Joey Cheese, the Guardians, they're in first place, right? They're like the second or third best team in baseball.
No, the Guardians have the best record in baseball.
Yeah.
Oh, they jumped you guys in the Phillies?
Yeah, the Phillies have just they've been bad since the All-Star break, but
it's been fun to watch.
They're a game and a half over the Phillies. They're a half a game over us in the loss column.
All right.
But what did you ask Joey about the Guardians?
That series, is it in New York? I don't think it's in Cleveland.
Let me check.
Well, while you check, we're going to go to break. You've been listening to The Blitz on 91.3 FM WBNY Buffalo, Buffalo's original alternative. Since 1982, brought to you by the Buffalo State Student Activity Fee. We'll be right back with a, I don't know how to describe it, hopeful song? It's not any of us singing, trust me. It's a clip I found. Nobody's singing here. But I guess the song will lead us into the NFL. That you'll hear it and you'll question life too. Keep listening to The Blitz on 91.3 FM.
This is our Colts. This is our team. We bleed blue. This is our Colts. Whether win or lose, we love them. For the shoe, beat the Broncos. Let's show them who the real horse is. This is our team. Go Colts!
Do you feel inspired after that neigh? Oh my God, it was not necessary, but it was there. Frank, what do you think of the song?
We bleed blue.
Frank, when I found this song, I could not believe it. I can't. I still can't. Alex, you heard of the song before,
I've seen
right?
it probably like 3 or 4 times on different meme pages.
I've seen it too much.
Yeah, it makes me want to cut my ears off. But at the other time, it makes me hyped up because I love Anthony Richardson, and I'm very high on his stock, and I have him in both my dynasty leagues. So.
And then, Joe, did you feel any motivation coming to you?
Yeah, it was like the battle of the horses, It was like the Colts, come on, let's beat the Broncos,
Yeah, for a preseason game, makes it even funny.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's going to be doing it like every single week.
Supposedly, he did it last year. I found his videos from last year. I appreciate fans, but this might be a little too far. I don't know if you need a pump-up song for a team you do not own.
Well, what about mayonnaise cologne?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Have you seen that, too? Oh,
yeah.
no.
If anyone buys it other than for the soul memeing reason, then they're just weird.
I really honestly want to figure out what it smells like. I think mayonnaise? I would use it once and then throw it in the trash.
It was only like $8.
I would guess mayonnaise.
It's $8?
It was cheap.
Well, because who wants to smell like mayonnaise?
The man puts it in his coffee.
Obviously, he's not a normal human. He eats the banana with the peel on, so he obviously has some sort of dysfunction going on in his brain.
This may work with him. I mean, if he wears the musk of mayonnaise, I mean, that could drive away all the fans in other team. I mean, just imagine he's going up against the Jaguars. He puts on the fragrance. Josh Allen's like, hell no, I ain't touching him.
Josh Allen Hines.
Yes.
Oh, yes, that's new. Josh Allen Hines.
Yes.
He didn't want to be the only. He didn't want to be the second Josh Allen.
Yeah, he didn't want to be the other Josh Allen because there's only one true Josh Allen.
There's only one.
He resides in Buffalo. He is the quarterback for that team.
Just imagine. I just imagine Trevor Lawrence going down the field and having to smell mayonnaise all throughout the fragrance.
And there's mayonnaise on the ball.
But the Josh Allen thing, I will still never get over the fact how the same player, like the exact same name, got drafted in the exact same pick back-to-back years. It's just crazy. Like, what are the odds? Like, the odds of that happening are like probably like 1,000,000,000 to 1.
Frank, are you gonna buy mayonnaise? The fragrance?
The mayonnaise de parfum?
Yes, Frank.
No, absolutely not.
Are you gonna buy mayonnaise at the store?
No, mayo is disgusting. It's the worst condiment.
Huh?
Yep.
So, wow. Okay.
Ketchup's the best.
What is the best?
Ketchup.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? The only reason I say no to ketchup being the best condiment ever is because I love hot sauce, and Frank's hot sauce, I literally do put that blank on everything.
Okay, I will give you. Okay, I guess I don't consider hot sauce. I consider condiments like just ketchup, mayo, mustard, relish. I don't really consider hot. I don't consider I don't consider like a buffalo sauce as like a condiment. I guess, but if we're considering that, you're right. Like a buffalo hot sauce.
Yeah.
That you're right. I think that would be number one.
I get
like a buffalo sauce, a wing sauce, a Frank's Red Hot. That's bad. I like that more than ketchup.
You've gone to Ted's, right? You know.
Yeah.
I get hot sauce on my hot dog all the time.
Okay, I'm doing ketchup on a hot dog. Ketchup goes with hot dogs and fries, but I do or I guess hot sauce to go with fries. I like when I get like wings and fries, and then you dip the fries in the wing sauce. That's always really good too.
Mustard and onions.
That?
I don't think I have.
It's so good.
I dip a lot of things in blue cheese, probably more than what my health should be doing, but or should be allowing me to do, but no, wing sauce and fries. Let me try that one.
Making me think of at the fair, they do that. They do tater tots in like a buffalo wing sauce.
Okay, that.
And I'm going on Friday, and I'm excited for that because I'm going to get that right away because it's so good.
Look, the reason I like going on Food Talk is because I also see random food things get announced throughout the day. Like, there's a Warheads Cinnabon coming out, I believe.
That sounds gross.
I actually do want to try it because I do love Warheads. I think, the only one in my family that actually likes sour candy.
Warheads aren't bad, but with Cinnabon, that's a bad combo.
It's the blue raspberry flavor, and I'm a big...
That does not change anything.
Yeah, no.
It does for me.
All right, I guess that's all that matters.
You are talking to the guy that you weren't here to see this, but I did drink Buffalo Pepsi.
You did?
On air.
What is Buffalo Pepsi? Is that buffalo sauce?
Have you never heard of Buffalo Pepsi?
I've heard you guys talk about it. I don't know what actually it is.
Oh, my God. How?
I just joined in April.
Did you miss the commercial?
Can I guess?
This isn't even like,
No, I've seen the intro where you guys say it, but what exactly is in it?
Okay, I'll go on I know how to explain this. So basically, they're Josh Allen, Pepsi, right? Partnership, sponsorship. Yeah. They wanted to increase the Buffalo Pepsi majority because we are mostly Coke, because we do have
that's actually
Coke
crazy.
A lot actually throughout Buffalo because we have our own plant.
Yeah.
So I believe the story with Harrington is that he went to a Wegmans. Even I went to a Wegmans and saw this too. And there's a little tent with the Pepsi logo on it. It was inside, but they still had the tent up. And there were, of course, workers setting up drinks. And, Harrington goes up to the worker and says, "What's this?" And the worker says, "Buffalo Pepsi." And he's like, "What's Buffalo Pepsi?" And that's where I thought there were different flavors of Pepsi for a minute, comes from in the intro. One of my favorite lines ever said, but is basically Pepsi with hot sauce in the Pepsi with a stick of celery sticking out of it and blue cheese rim.
That's disgusting.
It is not as bad as you think. It is bad, but it's not as bad as you think.
No, I'm never drinking Buffalo Pepsi. That's for sure.
I mean, I did after I made a really stupid bet that I knew wasn't going to go through, and I just wanted to prove that I could drink it.
I guess if someone bet me, like, I'll give you $20, I'll drink it for $20.
I think it was like I picked KJ Osborne to have like 2 touchdowns that week, and that was not happening.
Do you know how that all started? Josh Allen eats his wings, blue cheese, dunks it into Pepsi, and eats his wing. That's how that started.
Oh, okay. Now I do remember this. Okay. Yes, I do remember that whole thing last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's like, he's dunking his wings.
Whatever. He can do whatever. He can't do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah.
Hey, Frank, great GM idea. I'm saying this out loud on air so everybody in the world can hear this. When we get a new member, they must drink a glass of Buffalo Pepsi.
Now, why?
Why not?
I'm glad you made that after I joined.
After you join.
Yeah.
Just make it heck for everybody else after you.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I'm gonna have to shut that down.
Do they still have the thing is though? Do they still sell it?
I did shut down your duck promotion idea, so that's fair. That's only fair.
What was the duck promotion?
This man wanted to get rubber ducks as promotions to hand out to people. I'm like, what are you gonna do with a rubber duck?
People love rubber ducks.
You could waddle up to the lemonade stand.
Well, what was the promotion for? I mean, what was it?
It's just to give to people,
rubber ducks.
Just to get like new people, like, hey, come join WBNY.
And you get the squishy little duck you can take a bath with or go in a hot tub with.
I got it now.
I really still wonder to this day how your brain landed on rubber ducks. Do I want to know? Yes. Do I really want to go through the process of knowing? Probably not. Probably too much.
Rubber ducks are
They're rubber ducks.
They're all over the place.
That doesn't matter if they're
Who doesn't love a good old rubber ducky?
That is not a supporting argument.
Yeah, but you can do. But the thing is, you get some rubber ducks, you can start throwing them at people. That'd be pretty fun.
That's not the point of the rubber ducks. I don't want to be known.
Yeah, but
for giving people
it's called using your imagination.
To throw at other people.
It's called using your imagination. Whatever you want. Do whatever you want with the rubber duck. Just don't tell me about it.
He didn't want to hand out plastic rats.
Oh, Frank, we are not getting plastic rats as a promotion. Don't even think about it.
Why did you put that idea in his head?
Because then he can think about it of what's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, that'd be...
Just make him think about it.
I guess.
I'll buy one singular rat.
And give it to Dan for Christmas.
Give it to me for Christmas. Wow. Wow. I would feel honored and also be like, why?
No, I'm going to get a Kyle Poso Stanley Cup jersey.
Oh, jeez. Not Kyle.
That's hilarious.
Not Kyle.
Yeah, bro, see if you can get it signed by him, too.
No!
Oh.
That's even worse. Because that means I have a signed memorable item of Kyle Poso on a team that I don't have a relation to other than Frank. And also it's a player that I despise.
Kind of like for Christmas when my mom got me a Tom Brady ornament the one year.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's cool, man.
What?
It's cool.
No, it's not. Tom Brady was my least favorite player in the NFL my entire life.
Your mom thought of you, man. Remember that.
I hate Tom Brady. Tom Brady sucks. He doesn't actually, but he sucks.
You'll always have that ornament.
No, I'm going to Gronk spike it because I hate him.
You got Gronk?
Always have
I like Gronk. I like Gronk just because he's a Buffalo native.
I actually hate Gronk.
I like Gronk because he's a Buffalo native, and actually his family designed my high school's like gym or like workout area, so that's pretty cool. But no, I've always liked Gronk because I like the energy, and he's Buffalo native. He's like, even though I hated the Patriots, he was like the one Patriots player. Like I feel like every like rival team, there's always at least like one player on the team that you always will root for. Like as I'm a Yankees fan, I always liked Big Papi. As a Patriots fan, I always liked Gronk.
I will always hate Gronk for the hit on Trey White. That is the one thing that will never bring you back.
You're right. I will hate him for that, but I will still overall like him because he grew up in Buffalo.
Plus, he doesn't really like say he's from Buffalo. I mean, he went to high school out of Buffalo.
Well, yeah, but he grew. I think he started high school in Buffalo though.
No, he went to Pennsylvania.
Okay.
No. He went 2 years to Will North, maybe 3.
And then his final year or 2 years.
He went to Woodland Hills in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I know he spent some time at Will North.
Even though I still don't feel like he promotes it that much, and when he does, I feel disgusted because he never said that before. And I'm like, I'm not dealing with you, Rob. Go to.
I mean, I guess it's fair, but how many like successful athletes come out of Buffalo? There's like Patty Kane. There's Gronk.
More.
There's the Jonah Heim, the catcher for the Rangers.
I mean, Khalil Mack.
Jonah Heim's out of Buffalo?
Yeah, he went to Amherst.
Yeah.
I don't think Khalil Mack.
No, Khalil Mack just went to college at UB. He's not from here.
He's not from here.
My friend actually was like, his like ex-girlfriend was like close family with Jonah Heim's, or like close friends or whatever, like with their family, so he's met him before.
Yeah. That was actually cool.
Yeah. I didn't realize it until like he was telling me, he's from I think he was drafted in the first round in like 2019 or 2020.
There was a kid from Grand Island that punted, Brett Kern.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right, Kern. Yeah. I remember talking about
and then
him.
I know there's like some older ones, like there's Ron Jaworski from
Jaworski,
Lackawanna. There was like, I think it was like Warren Spahn or whatever. There's like a really good baseball player.
Warren Spahn,
yeah. He was from Buffalo.
You got John Urschel from Niagara Falls. Went to Penn State, then went to the Ravens. Won a Super Bowl.
Isaiah McDuffie, I think he plays for the Packers, went to Bennett.
Yep, he's with the Packers now.
Yep.
He's from the city of Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. But there's not like too many. So when there is ever like a big one to come out of Buffalo.
Oh, yeah. It is big.
Yeah.
But it's also, I just despise him.
Yeah, I mean, that's just me,
though.
Joel Andreessen, he's in the Bills.
Yeah.
Might make the practice squad, but he's from Lancaster.
You're forgetting the big one,
Patty
Kane.
Well, yeah.
No, I said Patty Kane.
Did you?
Yeah,
I started
big one,
man.
Kane, yeah.
Don Mikowski out of Depew played quarterback for the Packers.
Hey, that's close enough to Lancaster.
Yeah, and let's see who else there was.
I'm trying to think.
There's an old timer, Marv Hubbard in the 70s, played running back for the Raiders. He was out of Randolph.
And then there's Brian Dable.
Yeah,
he didn't play, but big name coach. Where
we
exactly? Where did you go to school?
Dable went to St. Francis.
Yep. Yeah. And then Christian Leitner.
Yep.
Yep.
And then I just had one in my head. Shane Conlon went to Frewsburg down in the Southern Tier. Played for the Super Bowl Bills.
Yeah. It's cool. Like, there's not a lot of big names, but it's cool trying to think of people from the area that made it pro.
If you want big names, go to California, man.
Well, yeah, California, New York City, Florida, Texas. Yeah.
Another Super Bowl kid, Corey Graham, for Baltimore, and he played for the Bills then. He went to Turner Carroll and O'Hara.
Yeah. That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
I don't know of any others. I can't really think of any others.
I've got Lamar Jackson.
Where did he go?
I got Lamar Jackson.
Oh, he grew up by you?
Two-time MVP.
Well, yeah, you grew up in South Florida.
Yeah.
You got a lot, Frank.
Within like 30 minutes, I probably have 30, 45 minutes of where I was born. There's probably a ton.
How close do you live from Miami? Is that like within it?
An hour?
Okay, because I could say James Cook. Who, when I was coming back from Miami last year, he was on my flight. And like I sat and then we had a connecting flight from like Fort Lauderdale to Philly, and then the flight I was supposed to be on from Philly to Buffalo, I was sitting right behind him. But then that flight got canceled because it was torrential downpour. After we sat in the plane for 2 hours and we said, screw this, rented a car and just drove back because we were so tired.
Another Depew kid, Jim Dombrowski, played line for the Saints for like 10 years.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like old-time NFL players, but I feel like there's not as many recently.
Yeah.
Like the only like recent ones are like besides Gronk are basically people that are barely making like NFL rosters. And I mean, there's a kid from my school that's on the Ravens that might make the practice squad. He's like their like 5th or 6th string tight end. But...
Oh wow! There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a kid. He got a touchdown pass on Monday Night Football last year for the Browns. I don't know where he's someplace different this year. Carlson from Jamestown. Yeah,
No I have no clue who that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot because these guys just get in there for the camp and then they might play a few games.
Yeah, or Chad Kelly.
Yeah, he took a knee for Denver.
Yeah, he took a knee for Denver once.
That was it.
Yeah, I wonder if like Josh Allen or if he ever has kids or like anything that grow up in the area or like any of these long life Bills players if they have kids here that grow up. Wonder if they'll ever turn into anything. Who knows?
That's a discussion for probably 20, 30 years down the road.
I know, but I can still have that discussion.
I'm trying to think of some of the older Bills if they had any.
Yeah, the only one I could... Well, that's the only reason I thought of is because of Chad Kelly.
Yeah, that was his nephew. Bruce, no. Thurman, no. Reed, no. Tasker had a couple of kids. One of his kids is in the CFL.
Oh, nice.
Tap, I think his name is Tap Tasker. Or Luke. He had 2 of them.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, we should get on to talk. I mean, at least I haven't talked about it. I don't know how much you guys have. Brandon Ayuk. How we love Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, yeah, we had a nice discussion about that.
Nice discussion?
Yeah.
Oh, big one.
Yeah, it was me and Evan got into a little debate over that.
Yeah.
We were kind of agreeing with it. That one we were actually kind of in agreement. We just had a little different of perspective on it. I think it was like me, Emma, and Evan all like kind of agreed on different things, but then disagreed on different things. We were kind of debating that back and forth. But I was basically saying that the Niners should try to bring him back, but I understand that like for that price tag, if they do decide, like, if he just doesn't want to, like, if
they would be idiots not to bring him back.
But if he wants CeeDee Lamb money, like, if he's asking, he turned down $32 million a year from the Patriots. Right. I don't know if that's just because they're the Patriots and they suck. But if he's asking for like $34 million, I understand why the Niners. But if he's wanting 30, you give him 30. I think he's definitely worthy of 30.
He's
because
definitely
players like Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith are getting 25, 27, and he's better than them.
Yep.
But I think it's basically just down to if he wants, it's Pittsburgh or the Niners is what it's down to now. I don't know what the Niners or what Pittsburgh would give up.
Apparently there is
a trade in place.
There is a package being put right now by the Steelers that apparently the Niners are interested in.
Yeah, I thought they had a deal in place, and now it's kind of just up to can Ayuk agree on a contract extension.
I mean, I wonder if it's like Pickens.
No. There's no way they're trading Pickens.
They want a wide receiver back, and the only wide receiver they got that's worth something is Pickens.
No, there could be maybe Roman Wilson if they see some value in that. He was a 3rd round pick, and he is. He could bring some value. Like if he's the wide receiver 3, he could bring some value, and like he's a good run blocker, and he could develop. And
it really
and they have a bunch of other really good weapons.
The only reason I say they don't want him is because they have Pearsall, and Pearsall was their 2nd round pick, and it's like if they would have wanted 1st round pick, and it was close enough.
Yeah, I mean I get that.
But I mean it's like I feel if they would have wanted him, they would have waited for him and they would have gotten him. Like,
the thing is, though, for Pickens, the way he's developing, he's not no Brandon Ayuk, but he could. You can make an argument that Pickens is a top 20 receiver. You can make, and then Ayuk's a top 10 receiver. So you either get Pickens, who you got 2 more years in this rookie contract, and then you're going to have to pay him probably about as much as Ayuk, or you pay Ayuk right now.
Well,
but
it depends how Pickens.
But then you have to give up Pickens plus picks. Like I think the whole reason that the Steelers are trying to trade for Pickens is because trying to trade for Ayuk is because their receiving core is really bad outside of Pickens. If you trade Pickens, now it's the receiving core is really bad outside of Ayuk, and they didn't really push the needle that much. So I just don't see them trading Pickens to get Ayuk. I think they're trying to have them both together because right now their receiving core is one of the worst in the league. I would say it's better than the Patriots. It's better than the Broncos. It's better than the Chargers, and maybe that's it. I may be biased, but I think the Bills' receiving core is better, and a lot of people are pretty low in the Bills' receiving core.
I think we're better in the sense that we're
much
have
deeper.
Names. We just don't have a big name.
George Pickens would be the wide receiver 1 in the Bills, but I think you can make an argument that MVS, who's our wide receiver 4 or 5, could be
Pickens
the wide receiver.
Would not be wide receiver 1.
I think he's better currently than any receiver the Bills have right now.
I think he's worse than at least.
He just had 1,100 yards last year. As a second-year guy with Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett.
He doesn't have good discipline. I've seen so many catches from him that turned out not to be catches because he lacks.
He's got some of the best hands in the league, though. Have you seen some of those?
Doesn't matter if he can't place his feet. I remember clearly and
just had 1,100 yards with some of the worst quarterback play in the league.
Matter.
He is better than any receiver the Bills currently have. What Bills receiver do you think is better than him?
I would think Curtis is better, and I think he's just
That's crazy. That's
dollar
crazy.
Store.
I think Curtis is underrated, but that's insane.
Coleman at this point.
No. There's no way you just said Keon Coleman is better than George Pickens. You are absolutely delusional.
Dan,
no, Dan. That is insane. That is absolutely
not
insanity.
Better than George Pickens.
That is
I can't
absolute
say that
insanity.
right now, but I believe he could end up better than Pickens.
Oh, he's
down the road. I'm saying right now.
Oh,
if you put
mean
George
right
Pickens on the Bills receiving core right now, he is the wide receiver 1. What I'm saying is Pickens is better than any Bills receiver at this current moment, but I think MVS, who's the Bills wide receiver 4 or 5, could be the wide receiver 2 on the Steelers. And I think that's why I take the Bills receiving core over the Steelers because it's so much deeper.
MVS can't catch.
I understand he's not that good. I'm just saying the Steelers receiving core outside of Pickens is very, very bad. I legitimately have no idea who their wide receiver 3 is.
No clue.
I maybe I'll go Google it real quick because I legitimately have no idea.
I feel like Pickens is just a little bit better than Gabe Davis. In my mind.
That's absurdity.
I just feel like he's a big body.
Pickens, Gabe Davis, had at most 800 yards in his career. That's his highest with Josh Allen throwing the ball. Pickens had 1,100 last year with Mason Rudolph.
They have you can't just
Kenny
say,
Pickett.
he only had 800. Yeah, because he was mainly used as a blocker, and we never had. And then he would blow up some games and
you got it, Alex?
others.
Yeah, they got Pickens. Then after that, it's Van Jefferson, Kelvin Austin, Roman Wilson. It's
don't
really
forget Van Jefferson.
That's Kelvin Austin the third too.
Van Jefferson is. I love Van Jefferson too. I'm a Gators fan. Van Jefferson is not that good.
He's that guy.
Was he on the Rams?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And they basically let him walk in respects of Tutu Atwell.
Yeah.
So I mean,
also this week has been kind of a rough week for wide receivers.
You mean getting injured?
Injured.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about it or if you were going to plan on talking about it.
Jordan Addison just got carted off today.
What?
Yeah. Did you guys not see that?
No.
Yeah, Addison got carted off.
After the J.J. McCarthy?
After J.J. McCarthy, second injury today.
The J.J. McCarthy one, honestly, if I'm a Vikings fan, I don't want to see J.J. McCarthy being injured. It's in the grand scheme of things, it's not an awful thing because the plan was probably going to try and sit him this entire to let him develop. Obviously, him being injured makes it harder for him to develop, but now there's no chance of you throwing into the fire and you stunting his growth. And I honestly think Sam Darnold will have a decent year. Now Jordan Addison, now that Jordan Addison's gone, but I think in a Kevin O'Connell system where it's very quarterback friendly with Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson when he returns, Aaron Jones.
It's only QB friendly because Jefferson's there. Let's get that down straight to the
Kevin
point.
O'Connell, Sean McVay.
If there is no Jefferson, there is no Minnesota Vikings.
Sean McVay disciples are really good. Kevin O'Connell, when he came in, Kirk Cousins' numbers got better, and he had Jettis before.
That's because you're coming in after Mike Zimmer.
But
Mike Zimmer's a defensive coordinator. Of course, you're going to give a better.
But Kevin O'Connell is a very good offensive-minded coach. He's a Sean McVay disciple.
Right, but when you say his numbers jumped, I'm not shocked because it was Zimmer who was in there before.
Okay, but I'm saying O'Connell's a very good offensive coach. I'm saying with him being the offensive coach, having Justin Jefferson, having T.J. Hawkinson when he comes back, having Aaron Jones, having some good offensive line, I think Sam Darnold can put up some decent numbers in that offense.
We're going to see Hawkinson this year. I don't think we are.
When did he tear his ACL?
About, I think, like week 15, week 16. It was later.
And it takes usually like 9 to 10 months. I think he'll be back like week 5, 6.
I think he can come back. I just don't think he'll be effective.
I think he will be pretty good.
I think
we said that about Von Miller after an ACL.
Von Miller was also... 34? TJ Hawkinson's 27? Also, being a defensive end is all about being explosive. Tight end's not all about explosion. If you can still run routes or you're still a big body, you still have good hands.
Yeah, but you still have to lift off with that leg.
Yes.
You still have to use it
You're right,
lot.
but explosion's not nearly as important for a tight end as it is for a defensive end. That's all about burst off the line to beat the quarter. You have to get to the quarterback and sack him in under a couple of seconds, or the tight end, there's a little more leeway on. That's why Travis Kelce, who's way past his athletic prime, is still putting up very good numbers because he's very smart and is able to get open and find the soft spots and has good hands, even though he's not what he once was.
I honestly believe that Hawkinson will take a little bit to come back. That is just me. That is fine.
Yeah, halfway through the year.
Fine.
But it's like I just don't think that.
That?
Yes, the old phone is ringing. Please, gentlemen, carry me.
I wonder if this one could be Emma.
Yeah. Anyway, CeeDee Lamb. That's the real wide receiver situation also going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Dallas, if he wants Jetta's money, just give it to him. Obviously, I think Jetta's a little bit better than CeeDee, but I think Jetta's might be a hair bit better. But that's how the market works.
Agree.
He may want
Justin Jefferson is a hair bit better than CeeDee Lamb, but that's also like saying, it's insane to me that Jerry Jones can be so open about it.
Yeah,
I'd be like, we miss you, but it's fine, whatever.
Yeah,
what are you doing? This is your star wide receiver. You have your star quarterback. You guys have barely sniffed the Super Bowl when you're supposed to be this perennial giant every single year. Like, your fans are sick of it. The entire NFL fan base is sick of hearing it. It's the fact that you're also so publicly saying that, he's being a little bit of a problem, with this whole contract money thing. I mean, if you're the second best wide receiver in the NFL and you saw the first best wide receiver in the NFL get money, the third, the fourth, and the rest of these wide receivers get money, of course you're going to be upset.
Exactly. I think you give him like maybe 0.1 more per year than what Jetta's got or whatever. Make him happy. Pay Dak, but pay him on like a smaller. Maybe give him like a 3-year 160 mil.
I'm giving him 2.
Yeah, but maybe he may if he wants
even 1.
Yeah, but if he wants more than then you just franchise tag him at that point.
Yeah.
But I think you give him a 3-year deal. And then you play it out from there. You'd be like, all right, Dak, we're giving you 3 more years. At least bring us to like a conference championship game in these 3 years. And then after that, then you decide to just rebuild at that point. And then next year you give Micah what he wants. What?
Jerry Jones fires McCarthy, whole coaching staff, gets rid of Dak, goes with Trey Lance with a new
what are you
coach.
Trey Lance couldn't beat out Brock Purdy, and he had all the opportunities.
What kind of fantasy storytelling BS is this?
It could happen. I mean, if you don't want to pay him that great money, I mean,
so you go ahead and fire the entire coaching staff, get rid of Dak Prescott.
I'm
you're not going to
assuming
pay
that
CeeDee
McCarthy's going to have another bad season or a mediocre
if you're
season.
Dallas, the smart thing is you franchise and you trade him. You don't just let him go for nothing. Even if you don't get much value, not a lot of value is better than no value.
But it's like at some point you're coming up with Micah Parsons, Dak, Trayvon Diggs, CeeDee.
No, Trayvon they already signed. Trayvon got his deal already. Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, still, you are paying
you have your three big guys. Your three best players still need contracts. Yeah,
it's just more. I feel like you have to give up somebody, and I feel if you have an other mediocre year where it's like you do great during the regular season and then you just fall off and lose to a 7 seed again, everybody goes. I mean, everybody who's not essential, and I think Jerry may be like, you're not essential.
I think if you give him the 3 years, though, I think you can get more out of a trade.
I think
that's the thing. If you want to blow it up after this year, but if you give him the 3 years, the 3 years of control will add more value to the contract.
I think the only reason it depends is because usually when a new coach comes in, they want new QB. They don't want an old QB and an old system and an old. No, they want to change everything.
When your quarterback is Dak Prescott, listen, I hate the Cowboys. I do poop on Dak Prescott and that entire team a lot. Dak was a top 5 quarterback. If you're a new coach and you're hearing that you're going to be to the Cowboys and your quarterback is Dak Prescott, you're a little pumped. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you should be a little bit excited.
You know, I have somebody who can speak on the fact who has a good quarterback. I mean, at least from a couple years ago before he just ran out with a USA flag, and that was his only play of the year. Hi, Spike!
Oh, Spike!
Hello.
What's up, Spike?
See, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I think I'm blowing it up. I'm getting rid of everybody. I'm throwing it all in the trash. I'm throwing the logo in the garbage. I'm throwing the jerseys in the garbage. Throwing the stadium in the garbage. I'm taking the trademark and I'm throwing it away. I'm just disbanding the whole team at this point. That's what I'm doing if I'm the Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, it's kind of like
getting rid of the whole thing.
You know, it could be like the Jets after this season, and they bring
back the Houston Oilers.
You know, if they
bring back a second Houston
Love
team and
you,
get rid of
Texans,
Dallas.
the Dallas Oilers. Yeah.
You know,
the Dallas Oilers.
It could always happen to you, Spike. I mean, it's not out of the question if Saleh has another bad season. You know, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, the owner of the New York Jets, maybe hires his best friend Nathaniel Hackett to be the head coach.
Nathaniel Hackett should never have another job in the NFL again. I knew it was a bad, awful coaching hire when Denver did it because I remember his days as the Bills' offensive coordinator, and that was the most basic, like head-scratching, eye-boiling, the worst play call. It was literally run it up the gut with Shady, run it outside with Shady.
Yep.
Throw it with Tyrod. The defense knew it was coming. He runs for 2 yards. 4th and 2, punted away. And it was just over and over again.
Alex, all you got to do is replace the names and go, run right with Breece Hall. Throw up
run
Garrett
left
Wilson.
with Breece Hall.
Yeah, run up the middle with Breece Hall. Run right with Breece Hall. Throw it to Garrett Wilson, and hopefully it's completed. If not,
and then hopefully Mike Williams is healthy.
I hope he is because I have him in a fantasy team.
Hey, he was reactivated.
Yeah,
he was. I'm shocked. I can't wait for week 1 where his ACL just ruptures. And I'm like,
the amount of Mike Williams that we have seen at practice, 1. The amount of Hassan Reddick, 0. So
that is shocking,
bro.
That is shocking.
And that could, if the Jets trade away Hassan Reddick, like if that does happen, that pass rush looks a little suspect.
You know what's funny?
We just straight up told him no.
Yeah, I know, but what if he's like, no, I'm just not going to play for you then? He's so mad.
Then we're just going to keep finding him. We told him we're just going to keep finding him every single day, every time he doesn't show up.
No,
he's just going to keep getting fined.
And I get that, but I'm saying, like, that Jets pass rush, besides Hassan Reddick's a little suspect then. I mean,
we're fine.
I'm not saying Will McDonald and Jermaine Johnson are bad players, but they haven't proven themselves yet. And, like, if you're going into the season with those are your 2 best edge rushers, I mean, the rest of the defense is really good, so I don't think it'll matter too much. But it's a little scary. I mean, really, the only pass rusher or the only player in the D line I'm scared with, if Hassan Reddick's not there, is Quinnen Williams. And you double him, you single everyone else, and I mean,
yeah. No, the big thing that I think the Jets screwed up on was that they decided to let Huff go.
Yeah,
and where does he go of all places? The Howie Roseman Philadelphia Eagles. Now, who do the Howie Roseman Philadelphia Eagles send in return? Kind of like a trade. A guy who's in Japan, maybe. I mean, last time I checked, he was in Japan. And they get a third, at least. And if Hassan actually does decide to play,
and
he gets like a second.
Yeah, the Jets didn't handle that situation very great.
No,
because what they should have done is you just sign him to a contract right away. It should have been like
I think they should have just avoided it all and done a
just sign
not Brees. All right, that's fine. But I'm saying if they do trade for him, they should have went with the mindset of we're only going to trade for him if we have a deal in place. And then you trade for him and you extend him right away.
That just shows how bad Joe Douglas is. I mean, it really is. That
you're not a Joe Douglas fan?
No, I hate Joe Douglas.
I love Joe Douglas.
I think Joe Douglas has been a very good GM. Other than him,
he's just
not
one
found
of those
great
other
QBs.
bald brothers in the NFL.
He's drafted very good though.
He drafts great free agents and trades.
Okay, that I'll give it to you. He is an excellent drafter.
I will not say he drafts bad. I can't.
Yeah, because
I physically
Brees,
cannot.
Garrett Wilson, Sauce, Quentin Williams, Quincy Williams.
At the end of the day, his signings have not been good. His trades have not been good. I mean, his one trade this year, where is he? On the Do Not Disturb list.
The Rodgers one could turn out good, but not right now.
He basically went to the CIA and said, "Give me a new life." Yeah. I mean, is his new name like Derek Thompson? I don't know. At this point, maybe. I mean, he's been gone so long.
Shout out to Derek Thompson, whoever you are.
Yeah, Derek Thompson.
You may have just blown someone's cover. If I hear in the news someone named Derek Thompson has died, I'm blaming it on you.
Blown his cover is crazy.
The Las Vegas Raiders signed Nathan Peterman yesterday.
They signed him back?
Yeah, they signed him back after
I'm friends with the Raiders fans.
We love Nathan Peterman.
I'm gonna talk some stuff to him.
Best Bills quarterback ever, Nathan Peterman. And somebody
he was like a preseason god.
Oh, preseason legend.
Yes.
Yeah. I still remember when he came in like for that Saints game though, and he actually like played decent after how bad Tyrod was. I'm like, he's gonna be so good. And then I remember watching that game, like the Chargers game. One of my friends came over, and that first pick, I'm like, all right, not really his fault. Bounced off the dude's hands, whatever. Then the second pick, I'm like, not great, whatever.
And then you see
the third one,
and
I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good. And then by like pick 4, I'm like, oh, I just stopped watching the game after like halftime. I went back and played some Madden.
Oh, did you know about pick 5?
Yeah, well, I watched pick 5 too.
You didn't even get to pick number 5.
Well, by pick 5,
it's
I'm like,
Mambo number 5, but in the NFL, he did it. I just realized he did Mambo number 5.
Yeah.
This is great realization day. If Chris was here, he would appreciate this. Frank, you're here. You at least get to appreciate it.
What happened?
Mambo number 5, Nathan Peterman, 5 picks in one game.
Why are you saying I would appreciate this? Was that Jameis Winston? Screw you.
The 30 for 30. He should have won Defensive Player of the Year that year.
He should have been in the MLB in all honesty with that stat line.
Yeah.
30 for 30 is an accomplishment in the MLB.
And it's always funny when people try to compare Josh Allen to Jameis Winston. I'm like, how dumb are you?
How can you do that?
Josh Allen turns the ball over a lot. Oh, Josh Allen, he's like Jameis Winston. Oh, he's not. Are you an idiot? No, he's like an athletic.
Are you an idiot?
What a quote. Alex, I sincerely say this with all hope. If you ever see that person again, you invite them on this show.
It's Instagram comments.
Have them do something. Oh, it was Instagram.
DM the show's number to them.
Yeah,
I've seen it before. I've seen it plenty of times on Instagram and Twitter where people try to compare him to Jameis Winston because he has a bunch of turnovers. I'm like, you're just a
I've never heard that, and wow.
I've seen
also, someone who has to sit through many years of Jameis Winston in those very beautiful Buccaneer clock jerseys, by the way. Just want to say that. Why would that even be a discussion? How would that even come up to say Jameis Winston is like Josh Allen's like Jameis Winston?
Zero ball knowledge.
Thing to say. Zero ball knowledge.
Oh my God, Josh Allen that's like saying any player who throws a pick next is the next Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Brother, what?
Did you guys see this in baseball? The Jaron Duran got suspended by his own team for 2 for a homophobic.
I've seen the clip probably like 15
how come
times.
like MLB's not all over him?
I think it's up to the team, and there's nothing that the MLB within their rules can do for something.
I mean,
like
I think
that.
the MLB definitely probably had some influence on it, but they can't go out. That's more of a team matter.
I think that goes against the CBA. I think that would have to be talked about in the CBA.
They can definitely influence it, but they
can't
full on do it.
Yeah,
unless it's something like steroids, something illegal.
It's kind of like with the Trevor Bauer situation. Like a lot of teams want to sign him, but the MLB's really influence pushing him away. Like, no, he's not coming back.
Colin Kaepernick. Heard he's trying to make a comeback today.
I think he wants to go play flag football.
Yeah, he wants to be the U.S. representative for flag football.
At this point,
I'm like, dude, you're 41 and you haven't been in the league for 12 years. Give it up!
I get it at first. Yeah, he was probably good enough to be a backup because anyone who said he was still a good quarterback by that time, that situation that went down, no, he was pretty bad, but he was good enough to be a backup. I get it then, but at this point, no. He is not a top 64 quarterback in the NFL. He does not deserve a roster spot.
He's not even good to make the top 100. I would take kids in high school over Colin Kaepernick.
The Birmingham Stallions
he's bad now, but he just wants to keep his name in the headlines.
Oh yeah.
How is this still a conversation?
Supposedly, Jim Harbaugh has also offered Kaepernick a job with the Chargers. Supposedly.
Okay, see, that's not awful. I can respect that.
Right.
But trying to make your way back into the NFL as a player, that's done.
At
We're
41.
Done with
at 41. That's like the main thing, too. 41. He's 41.
He's 40?
He's 41. Yep. He's old.
He offered a job, though, but what's the job? Quarterback?
Not disclosed. Mascot? Chargers fan? We all know that's open.
He dresses up like a lightning bolt?
Protester?
Listen, that sick mascot from the 90s to early 2000s, the Bolt guy.
The Bolt guy.
I haven't do that.
Love that Bolt guy.
That was cool.
Colin Kaepernick, the Bolt guy. That feels like an off-brand of Larry the Cable Guy.
All right.
All right. Come on.
They should have what is it? Phillip Rivers come back and just have all his kids on the sideline and the mascot's out. Call it a thunderstorm.
That's great. I love that.
Oh my God, that would be. I would want to see all of Phillip Rivers' kids play offense.
Play offense.
Just
it look exactly like the Chargers offense.
Honestly, at this point, the wide receivers would just be about the same.
I see the report for Jordan Addison. He was carted off after leaping for a contested pass. He was wobbling off the field before he eventually had to get on a cart. So I don't think it's a torn ACL then. If it's a torn ACL, he would have been carted off immediately if it was ACL or Achilles.
Remember, Trey Wright got an ACL and he walked off with his own power with the trainers. So
you're right. Okay, so it's not Achilles. We know that.
Well, it could be. I mean,
Achilles,
it depends what they find. It depends what they find in the discovery.
Achilles, you can't even walk off though.
The Vikings are in shambles right now.
Yeah.
No, they quite literally are. They go from losing J.J. McCarthy for the whole season. He is actually, stat of the day for you, the first quarterback drafted in the first round in the common draft era, so that means since 1967, to miss his entire rookie season due to injury.
Injuries are never good.
97 speed freshman quarterback.
But as a Bills fan, this is good in the sense that the Vikings will be worse because we own their second-round pick.
Okay.
I never root for injuries. Yeah. Injuries aren't good. I'm just saying that they will be worse because of these, and that helps the Bills out because that pick should probably be top 40.
Minnesota to do as bad as the Patriots.
Yes, we need Minnesota to be awful. I think I genuinely said when we traded for that pick, I'm like, it's going to be a top 40 pick next year. That's why I'd rather have had the Vikings pick than Houston. When everyone's like, why didn't we get a second this year? I'm like, because did you want Houston's second round pick this year? That was like 50 something. Or you can go and get the Vikings pick next year. It's probably top 40. And now we're going to have 2 top 40 picks. 3 in the top 60. 3 probably in the top 55.
See, Milano got hurt yesterday?
Yeah, arm injury. At least it wasn't a leg injury.
I know. His arm, he left the drill. It didn't come back.
No, I love how they asked Bobby Babbage of just like, hey, you mind giving us the injury? And Bobby's like, nah.
We haven't
just
even talked about the Bills game.
Nah.
What?
Surprised we didn't even talk about how the Bills got killed because Shane Buechele and Mitch Trubisky are bad.
We just burned the film.
I don't need to talk to about that.
The starters
What about
didn't look
Stetson
too
Bennett
bad.
throwing 4 interceptions
And then they still
one
won the
touchdown?
game.
Yeah.
And they still won the game.
And he still outplayed. And he still outplayed Trey Lance.
It was funny that the Bills actually did look decent until the fourth. Like, it was 13-6 before the fourth.
Before Shane
After
Buechele
that,
came in.
20 points are scored.
Well, the offense didn't look too bad. Curtis Samuel looked
bad,
good,
but it didn't look too bad. Yeah, Samuel and Shakir looked great.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive line didn't look great, but they're. I think Chicago has a decent defensive line, but I think they're still trying to get some chemistry down with McGovern moving to center and David Edwards coming in.
Yep.
And
I know Connor McGovern.
I know that guy.
So I'm not too worried about her. I'm just worried about if players get injured or depth did not look good. But that also could just be because Shane Buechele and Mitch Trubisky just were really bad. And the defense, they did held them to 2 field goals, but they were kind of getting gashed. I mean, Caleb Williams looked amazing, and that might have just been part of it. But the defense was allowing a lot of yards. But I guess if they can just hold teams to, if they can have a really good red zone defense and holds teams to field goals, I trust their offense to still be able to win games. So I guess that was the good part of the Bills' defenses.
Did you hear? I saw this stat yesterday. I believe the San Francisco 49ers already have 29 injuries this preseason. They had to cancel their joint practice because of how many injuries they were having.
I feel like it's a bunch of like backups and stuff then, because I haven't heard of like anyone getting injured on them besides McCaffrey.
Yeah, it would be it probably is a bunch of backups, but I mean, still 29 injuries at this point.
Did you see Gerard Mayo's punishment for fighting?
Yes,
that if you're a starter,
if you get into a fight here,
if you're a starter, you
if
have
you're
to
a starter,
play.
You get into a fight, you're playing the rest of the preseason. If you're a backup and you get into a fight, you're not playing at all.
I actually kind of like it. If he doesn't want fighting,
so if I'm a starter, I'm getting into a fight, and then I'm just not playing in the preseason.
The starters have to play the entire preseason.
Yeah, they have to play the entire.
The
backups don't.
The backups. If you get into a fight, you don't play at all. So it's like starters, they don't want to play in the preseason, so it's punishing them, and the backups they want to play because that's how they showcase their talent. So it's punishing them. So I actually
get this guy in the Giants.
Gonna like it.
You know, it's funny
get that coach on the Giants.
It is kind of funny to hear that from a former player coach. I am former player turned coach, because it is just like, is that what Bill did? Did Bill probably do that? And I'm like, probably.
I've heard that there is actually like a big culture change going on. Like Mayo's a much different coach than Bill.
Hey, you know, I mean, Bill's reinventing himself too. Younger girlfriend, younger life. Am I right?
I mean, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for that girlfriend.
I don't blame him for the girlfriend. I did not expect that out of your mouth.
She's definitely not ugly.
Nowadays,
wow,
you definitely not
really
ugly.
High there, Alex. Extremely high, not ugly.
You can't go in and coach like Bill did.
No,
because the players aren't going to listen to you. He had that team, but that's done. I mean, I mean,
that era's over.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, and they're not good anymore, which is great.
Which is amazing.
That's why I don't think you can find a job.
I wish the Dolphins also weren't good, because
they are.
As I've said, I wish they weren't good on paper. I can't wait for the season until they hopefully shut up. But
they're off-season warriors. They're the off-season champions, like 9 years running.
I am 100% more scared of the Jets than I am the Dolphins. I'm not that scared of the Dolphins.
You know, Madden 25 isn't scared of either of them.
Oh, Madden 25. Did you see their rating for Terrell Bernard?
Oh, yeah. He's the fourth best linebacker, yes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I played it last night. I
haven't been home to play it yet. I'm playing it when I get home today.
I'm not playing
the 10-hour trial.
Oh, I have the expensive version. I bought the expensive version, so I'm going to be playing it when I get
you're
home.
Going to be. But, I mean, I did a franchise, and straight up, Bills came 10-7 after I won week 1, so they really came 9-7. I believe it was the Raiders somehow came 6th in the AFC. Shocking. I don't know how that happened with Minshew Mania and Aiden
Their defense
no.
is good.
You just said the why. It's Minshew.
Because of Minshew, yes, because of Gardner Minshew carried that team.
The mustache carried him to victory.
Right. And then I believe the AFC went Bills, Miami, Patriots, Jets.
Why are we
what were the Jets' record?
I mean, the Jets' record was 7-10.
So the Patriots were like 8-9?
Yes, they were both 8-9. They were both tied at 8-9.
Why are we having this discourse like Madden makes any kind of sense?
The Texans were also 7-9-1 and fired D'Amico Ryans after.
That's
they also went 7-9-1 and then fired D'Amico Ryans.
That's crazy.
It was a crazy night last night. I couldn't believe my eyes.
What did you just do? Didn't actually do like any rebuild? You just did a simulation?
Yeah, no, I quite literally, I think all I did was make sure I had people who I wanted out there because they have MVS as a 77 overall.
And then what is
crazy?
Shakir like a 72?
No, like Keon's a 74.
Did you see that Osiris Torrance as overall went down after last year?
Yep.
That doesn't make any sense. He was the best rookie guard in the league last year, and he somehow is worse than his rookie year.
Yeah. And then also, somehow, Kyer Elam has star potential.
I mean, he has been looking really good. He has been looking really good. He was one of our highest.
Yes, but I mean, has anything in Kyer Elam's career
does Benford
really
have star potential?
He's a star.
Does Benford have star potential?
Yes.
Okay.
He's solid.
No, he's not. Benford.
Okay,
is
then
not.
that's stupid.
Benford is normal.
And
he can do the job.
Yeah, I mean, I think what was our highest rated player? Like, I mean, PFF, you take it with a grain of salt.
Josh, Matt Milano, Teron.
No, I'm talking about like for the preseason game, real quick. I think like our highest graded players by PFF, which I understand sometimes PFF can be on one, but I actually do genuinely think that they have that like what they do makes sense, and I do genuinely agree with a decent amount of their stuff. But I think they had they had Curtis Samuel as our highest graded player. I think the center Van Pranger or whatever, he was our second highest rated, and then maybe like
Shakir was
3, and then I think the honorable mentions were Elam, and I can't remember who the other one was. I think Frank Gore Jr.
Yeah, Frank.
Yeah, those are so like.
I mean, sure.
I mean, Elam has looked good in training camp. He has looked good in preseason, but until he looks good in a regular season game, I'm not going to.
Until I see him one-on-one with Tyreek Hill and he beats Tyreek Hill, I will not be impressed.
He did that. The playoff game. 2 years ago when he beat, what was it, fourth down or third down, he got the pick on him?
He did.
And then the pass deflection. Yeah, he actually was kind of holding Tyreek on one that game.
Okay, rephrase. Until I see him lock down Justin Jefferson. There we go.
Until I see Kyrie Elam learn how to contain a stop route. All you got to do is run like Calvin Ridley and that Jags game or 2 years ago, rookie George Pickens probably ran like 4. He cannot stop a comeback route to save his life. That's all you got to do. Run, stop, and then turn the other way, and you're open. He's changing direction. Must be like terrible or something.
All right, I think that's going to do it for the show. I think that's going to do it for
the show, yeah.
Wacky, Wonderful Wednesday with, I don't want to say it, but 2 weeks before school.
Really like a week and
10
a half.
days.
Disgusting.
I'll be back in Buffalo in 10 days. Yeah!
Well, our fantasy
You'll be here for the draft.
Our fantasy draft's in what, 9 days?
Boys.
Yeah, our draft's in 9 days.
Yeah, very excited for the draft. Can't wait to do it. Emma's making a board.
I'll let you know if I'm here or not.
What day is it?
Class starts the next day.
Yeah, sure.
No, we are basically doing like, and
everyone should be able to be here. Class starts the next day.
We're in that PR class that starts in 8 in the morning that next day. Me, you, Chris, and Emma.
God.
We are screwed. We are utter screwed. I may just sleep here.
My friend is getting an apartment up in Buffalo, so I may just sleep there. What time are we doing the draft at?
What day is the draft?
Yeah,
it's a Sunday.
I may have to crash at his place then.
Yeah.
Because I already talked to him. He's got a spare couch I'm going to be sleeping on probably a lot. I'm going to do a lot of partying up here.
Hell yeah.
Exactly. So that's going to do it. And we'll be back next week. Probably different crew, maybe some people. You know, depends. I'll probably be here.
I'll probably be here.
Frank, I never know if you're going to be here. I worry about you.
Listen, I'm taking my time.
You take too
long. I
You
deserve it.
You don't deserve nothing.
Oh my God! Wow!
Right.
Wow! All right.
All right, that's a little crazy. That's a little wild.
You know what? You deserve to buy. You deserve to be gone off the phone. Spike, you get to stay.
Yay!
Why do I want to use that as the clip now?
Yes, you got to clip that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So the Bills are down. They're practicing with Pittsburgh, and then they're going to play them in a game.
And then that's it. Yep.
It'll be a bloodbath.
Practices start tomorrow.
That's tough, you know.
All right, that's going to do it for us on the Blitz. I'll play the outro, of course, and then you can follow everybody where they are. Gotta update that one. That's when I gotta update. I forget when I gotta get updated and not. But it's all gonna be perfect before the year starts. We're gonna have 2 new sports shows. As long as the one wrestling one, if the guy gets back to me on what days he can do it. We're gonna have the Blitz. We're gonna have the Shot Clock show. And then we're gonna have, I think we're gonna name it Tornado Tag Show, which is gonna be a wrestling show. But that's still up in the air. That one's still up in the air. The other 2 are set. You're going to have 5 days of us. For a long time. For like 4 months. I hope you're ready to strap in. We'll see you next week. Bye!